Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Slay to Success Talk Show. It is your girl, Rochelle Slay Queen Hemingway, CEO and founder of Slay to Success, where I'm helping women professionals step into their most authentic personal brand to gain lucrative opportunities and to elevate their impact. And the way that we do this is through the word slay. That's right. Slay means to kill it, to dominate it, and to nail it, to be on point, to impress greatly, and to dream big and work hard until you own it. It is also an acronym. Stay ready to be ready. Lead out loud, a sense of community, and knowing you are built to last. So, welcome in, everyone. If you are here with us right now, okay, Leslie George, Madame is in the building, okay? Good evening, and thank you for being here with us live this evening because we are going to have an amazing, and you know my word, it's amazing conversation with our guest tonight. So, the purpose of this talk show, y'all, is to bring men and women to this platform to bring awareness of those that are living on their own terms as well as positively impacting the world by using the slay philosophies. So tonight's guest is absolutely an amazing person. I know her through a virtual platform, and we've had lots of conversations. So we were going to have a very fruitful conversation tonight. So if you need to go and get your tea, all right, I have mine. Or Cinco de Mayo. I know that some of y'all are out there drinking margaritas and mocktails, cocktails, whatever that is. Whatever your beverage of choice, get it so that way you don't want to miss out on this conversation. So just a little bit of awareness, all right? Number one is there are 2 guidebooks that are available for your purchase. You can actually get these on Amazon. Now, this one here, all right, is it says own your power. This is for women over 40. If you want to build a memorable person brand to gain lucrative opportunities, I created a guide just for you. Now, this other guide here is for anyone, man, woman, whatever. All right. It's very neutral language and it has about the same information, but it speaks in a more neutral language. So these are available. All right. These are guidebooks. So those are there. And then also we have our sponsorship program. All right. If you're interested in understanding and knowing what it is about getting your business or your program, your product, your services on a Slay to Success talk show, I'm your girl. I can talk it up for you. Okay. Talk it up for you. So that way you can get your name on out there because again, I like building brands and boosting brands at the same time. Right. So we want to make sure, okay, that we can highlight what you have going on here on the show because I've got about 5,000 eyeballs. Well, if you say 5,000, if you say eyeballs, I have 10,000 eyeballs looking at this particular show on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. Okay, so this is the place to be. So tonight, y'all, tonight's guest, let me just give you a little bit of insight as to who she is. Okay, Karon is a distinguished women's empowerment coach. That's right. Karon Fayerweather is with us tonight. She is a distinguished women's empowerment coach and a speaker based in the ATL, which is Atlanta, Georgia. With a profound commitment to helping individuals harness their intrinsic strength, she champions the transformative power of self-empowerment and accountability. At the core of her mission, Karon believes deeply that everyone has the potential to overcome adversity and design a fulfilling purpose-driven life. Through her personal journey and professional insight, she has crafted a unique approach that empowers others to rebuild their lives after trauma. Her brand, the Affirmation Whisperer, further extends this vision, offering custom affirmations in a range of products designed to affirm and inspire. Through her company, Educate and Empower LLC, that embodies a commitment to personal growth and empowerment through 2 distinct brands, Karon Fayerweather Women's Empowerment Speaker and the Affirmation Whisperer. Now, the affirmation whisperer enriches her mission by promoting the transformative power of positive affirmations, offering personalized consultations, affirmation candles, a children's book, and t shirts designed to inspire a positive mindset shift. Together, these brands form the cornerstone of Educate and Empower LLC, a company dedicated to inspiring individuals to overcome challenges and live their best lives through mindful empowerment and positive affirmations. Furthermore, an avid proponent of the 90-day journaling method, Karon emphasizes the importance of personal responsibility in the healing process. She teaches that consistent reflection and affirmation are key to become the best version of oneself. Her work inspires a devoted audience of individuals, particularly women aged 45 to 60, to take deliberate steps toward their self improvement. Now, with a flair for luxury travel and passion for Michelin starred dining, Karan not only preaches a life of richness and depth, but also lives it, continuously exploring and embracing new experiences that enrich her teachings and personal philosophy. So, without further ado, let me introduce Karan to the stage. Please, round of applause, y'all. Hi.
Hello, everyone. Hey, Slay.
Hi. Oh my gosh. Okay. This conversation is way overdue. All right. Way overdue. We met maybe about a year ago, maybe more than a year ago.
More than that, about 2.5 years ago, something like
Oh, look
that.
at us. 2.5 years ago through an app, y'all, Clubhouse app. Okay. And we have been on there with Mosaic Nation, which Leslie George, she came on here, already said good evening. She is the founder. And then the co-founder is Miss Shirley Ann Felder. And so we have been talking, but we have not gone on here and done this
Yeah,
conversation
right.
until today.
That's right.
So I am so excited. First of all, I want to say thank you for coming to tonight's show and being my guest.
You're welcome.
Yes. And so you looking lovely. I love the hair, I love the vibe. So just please, just tell the audience a little bit about yourself. I done read the bio, but I had to read the whole bio. I'm gonna give you your flowers while you have these flowers. You know what I mean? I
Thank
have to say
you.
it all. So tell people a little bit about yourself.
Thank you, Slade. Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here this evening. As I was preparing and thinking about it, I never prepare anything to speak from because I never know what I'm going to be asked. But if you know, right? So
That's right.
very excited to be here this evening. And as Slay has already read my bio, I did not expect her to read it all, but she did. And I'm very grateful, like she said, giving me my flowers. My name is Karon Fayerweather, and I am a women's empowerment speaker. I have been doing this for a minute. And my whole mission is just to empower women that they can recover from traumas that they may have experienced. No matter the trauma, we all have different types of trauma. And I don't want you to think that I'm only speaking to women who have had those explosive traumatizations, right? But any type of trauma that you may have had that may be holding you back in any form of fashion. That's what I'm talking about today. I teach women, I give them a blueprint. And with that blueprint, they can take that and customize it to their way of doing things that will empower them to recover from whatever it is. And it's not even so much a recovery, you're already in the recovery stage, you want to rebuild. So my focus is to help women rebuild after recovery because I'm not a psychiatrist. I don't have any of those MD degrees behind my name. However, but I have traveled the journey of recovery and rebuilding my life. A couple of decades ago, went through some trauma big time in my life. But who hasn't had trauma? So I don't want to make it seem like I'm special. We all have traumas, but my trauma for me was so much so it kind of knocked me off my horse a little bit, right? So I had to recover from that. Once recover, I'm like, okay, now what? Now what? So I began the process of rebuilding my life to create the life that I now enjoy, of doing the things the way I want to do them, when I want to do them, how I want to do them, for as long as I want to do them. And it's been a beautiful journey. Life has a way of giving you some twists and turns, but even in those twists and turns, I find my way and I keep doing my thing the way I know how to do it. So hopefully that tells you a little bit about me.
Yeah. And we got so many queens here tonight. So Leslie, of course, Chevy is here. Kim is here. She says happy to be in the presence of queens. And Shirley Ann, of course, she said, "Oh my God, I love these two phenomenal women." Oh my goodness. So we've talked through this, and I know your story a little bit deeper than what you've shared. The details and so forth and
Mhm.
so on. Um, so what is it that you do now? So you have you have two jobs, if you will, right? You're an entrepreneur, but during the day, what is your job?
Well, was my job. I no longer have that job anymore, but because
Oh,
it's time to do some new things now.
oh,
But I was a manager for a team for a hospital revenue company, and I've been doing that for 18 years. I've been a trainer, facilitator. That is my love. Teaching people, seeing that light bulb go on over their head just absolutely lights me up. So being with that company for 18 years, being a manager of a team and teaching people how to use computers, how to use applications, processes, things of that nature. I've traveled about 38 states of this country I've been to, traveling in this role to and have met some amazing people across the country. So being a manager of a team for training and facilitation, implementation and optimization is what you probably will see on LinkedIn, but that's soon to be updated.
wow. Well, look, congratulations. Okay, I'm here for the tea. Okay,
Yes,
because I didn't know this, and I
yes,
don't know if this is the first announcement that you've made to the world. Like, I'm not
yeah,
working
pretty
here
much,
anymore.
pretty much.
Y'all heard it first on the Slate to Success talk show.
Exactly,
Okay,
exactly.
Kayvon is not working for them any longer. All
Anymore,
right.
no.
So, and I ask that because, sometimes people, want to know kind of how you got into where you're at right now. You're a women's empowerment speaker, but you have been doing things in alignment with what you're doing now for
Mhm.
many years, and you
Yeah.
just decided, hey, this is what I'm going to do. So one of the things that I'm always interested in knowing is, when did you start taking that trauma, if you will, and looking to rebuild yourself, like, because there's so many women who
Mhm.
have been through traumatic situations and are still sitting in it, and they haven't kind of moved forward, and really gotten tools. So tell us a little bit about the journey.
Absolutely, absolutely. About 15 years ago, I found myself as a single mom. My husband, my former husband, I like to say, now deceased husband, decided to go our separate ways. And I found myself a single mom with not a whole lot of income, but having two children. And at that time, one was in college and one was just coming up, and having experienced all that went on in that relationship. And I know there's so many women out there that can attest to the same story. Thankfully, there's not every woman. There's some women that had a beautiful experience in their relationship. I unfortunately was not one. And having gone through and I know there's someone that can raise their hand and testify to this, having been verbally abused, having been physically abused, I really was at my lowest I had ever been in my life. But you know what? I decided that I was going to take charge of my life. So about 15 years ago, after experiencing that, I had to make a decision. Am I going to stay here and waddle in it? Or
Yeah.
am I going to take charge and do something to change my life and go in a different trajectory? A trajectory that my children have seen me over the years. My daughter's telling me all the time, Mom is so proud of you because of all the things you've done, because this woman you see today did not exist 15 years ago. She did
Mm.
not exist today, but I had to take ownership, and doing that healing work, as many can attest to here, is not easy, Slay.
Yeah.
Um, and you too can attest to it. Any
Mhm.
type of healing, it doesn't have to be from what I experienced, but any type of healing that you are experiencing and want to heal from it, it takes work, and it's not a quick process. And sometimes it comes back.
Yeah,
You think you and got rid of it, and it comes right back. And it's like, wait, what is this? But the
that's true.
thing is, having a desire to continue that journey is what I do for myself, and I introduce to other women as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really admire the grit, tenacity to to want to embark on the journey, because when you make a decision, like you said, it's not easy
It's
to
not
go through the healing phases or the seasons, because there's seasons of healing as well.
right.
And you're saying that you had, two children, you're a single parent, and you're having to do those things on your own.
Yes,
That's a different mindset to have, right? Like,
it
I
is.
mean, how did you have that? I mean, a lot of women, we don't want to actually, go back to that place and do anything about it. So how did you do that? I'm very interested. I like that psychology of a person's actions. So
Well, for me, it was desiring more. Where I was
mm,
not where I was supposed to be. And I'll say that again. Where I was not where I was supposed to be. It was just a moment in time that I needed to experience completely. But my desire for more, I wanted more. I did not want to stay where I was in poverty, not having much for my children, having to choose between my son eating or me eating, literally having to
mm,
choose because of my situation at the time. But even going through that, I always desired more, Slay. I always thought, I say, wait a minute, there's got to be more to this. There's got to be better. I have a very clear memory, and I'm sure I've shared this in the room in Clubhouse before, of looking out my bedroom window in Florida at the time. And I just said, wait, there's got to be more. There's got to be more. And in saying that, I woke something up within me to say, okay, now you need to do the work. If you
mm,
desire more, you got to do the work. Things come, there are miracles that we call them that happen, but for the most part, and I believe every woman here can attest to this, you got to do the work. You got to do yourself, your internal work first, right? And
mhm,
some of us got to do some external work at the same time because we got to change jobs or change where we live, change who we are around. My circle at that time, before I decided to make a change, were not people that equaled what I desired, if
mm.
that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes
But,
sense.
but once I decided I wanted more, I noticed that no, that's not what I want to do with my life. And in identifying that, I made some very drastic changes. I relocated within the same city, well, the next city over. I moved to a different city with just me and my son. And as I said, my daughter was in college at the time. Just my son and I, without much of anything. I think he had a bed and I didn't. I had no
Mm,
living room furniture, no anything. But I just said, you know what? It's better for me to move than
mhm,
to stay here in this. And
mm.
deciding to make it, and as you keep saying, hearing, the theme is I made a choice. I made
Yeah,
a choice. And even though it was difficult and having to choose who's going to eat, I knew that this would not last forever. So I just continued the journey at each level. Okay, what's next? What's
mm,
next? And even now, today, being in the position that I'm in, okay, what's next? And
right.
ready to do the work. Mhm.
Yeah. Well, tell me what's more. Tell me what that more was. You said you wanted more. What is that more?
I wanted more of life. I wanted to have more in the way of enjoyment. I wanted more expansion and elevation. I wanted more exposure. I wanted more money. Let's be real, right?
Yes, let's be real.
I wanted more money. I wanted to have a car again. I did not have a car at the time. I wanted to be able to speak to women more. And then I was very, very attached to a church at the time. So a lot of the women's events and things of that nature, I was very involved in that. And that's where my women's empowerment, if you will, really began without me even really realizing it. Because I was always encouraging other women. They would ask, well, how did you do it? Why did you move? What gave you the encouragement to move so far away from your family? So my more was everything with more than what I had. Anything better than what I had, that's what I desire. And each time I reached a pinnacle, I said, okay, what's next? I want more because, they say, they say, if you desire it, right, and believe it, you can achieve it, right? So
Yeah,
I had to get my desire straight first. What is it that you, like you just said, what is your more? Well,
yeah.
in that moment, I wanted to live somewhere different. I wanted to be able to care for my children. So once I reach that, what is your next more? Okay, I would like to move out of state, or I would like to, whatever it was that I envisioned for myself, believing that I could do it first. Because that I have to say this, that a lot of times we have lip service. Women,
Mm,
we just talking.
yes.
We don't really mean what we're saying. We're
No.
just talking. It was just lip service, right? Lip service will get you nothing but a lot of time to talk. That is it.
Yeah.
But once you truly dig your heels in and say, this is what I desire, really believe what you are saying and know that it is possible. You can achieve it, but you got to have that clarity about what it is you desire, not just do lip service.
Yes. When you say clarity, that is so big.
Yeah.
And I have said it a lot of times, all this talking we do,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And we're talking it out because that's what we really want. But then at the same time, it requires action. You have to take the steps. You have to get in there and do the work.
Exactly.
And if that's not something that you're wanting to do right away, then I mean, you just
Yeah.
where you at. You know?
Exactly. Exactly.
Oh
Exactly.
my gosh. Okay, so now, I'm going to bring up a couple of more things that I know, and I know you'll probably, be willing to share.
Of
So
course.
you were married to the same man twice,
Yes.
right? So, we talk about like, relationships and so forth. And, so how did that come to be? You know what I mean?
That happened.
What is what's going on here?
How did that happen? So I'll tell you, it was rooted out of my desire to keep my families together.
Mm,
That's what it was rooted out of. Because of my generation, I was born in 63. So that's what we were taught. And even generations after that, before things got a little more liberal for women, we were taught keep the family together.
mhm,
So the first go round was just just my daughter at the time, and recognizing that something ain't right. And I please be clear, y'all. Be very clear that it's a two-sided story. I have my version, he has his version. They both are correct from our own perspectives. So I wasn't perfect in any form of fashion. I had my maturing to do. He
mhm,
had his own stuff to work on. And unfortunately, during our relationship, the first and second time, we didn't take ownership of that process. And that word is huge for me, taking ownership of the process of, if you truly want this relationship, if you truly want the more, if you truly want to elevate, if you truly want to expand, one must take ownership of the process.
mhm.
So we were in a agreement, but we weren't clarity about what the agreement is and what it takes for it to be what we desired. I don't even know we
Mhm.
had clarity on what we desired. We had these children, we were married, and okay, but
What
what does
else?
that really mean?
Oh,
What does
yeah.
that really mean? So being married to him the first time, and I was young. I think I was maybe 19, 20 the first time around. But after my second child came around, we both said, okay, let's try this again. And we did. But again, our heads were not right.
Mm,
I know mine wasn't. I can't speak for him. He's no longer here, unfortunately. But I know for me, I was in a relationship. But what does it mean to be in a relationship? What does it mean to be married? Do we really know? I didn't. I'll take
yeah.
ownership of that. I didn't know what it meant to be married. I knew we were married, but what does it mean to be married? Did I have clarity about that? Did I have an understanding of the work that it required? I knew I wanted to stay together, but then I had to come to a decision, Slay.
Mhm.
If I don't leave you, somebody's gonna die.
Mm.
So
That's not good.
not at all. Not at all. So I made a decision. You know what? Let me keep myself free by
Yeah.
leaving. And we amicably separated for the final time, because I said, well, there would not be a third time. It just did not come together. But again, I own my piece of that mess. There is not one person who's responsible for a relationship breaking down. It's a two-person process. So deciding that, that's when I started to become myself and
Yeah.
really get into who I truly am. And my wings spread. I allowed my wings to spread and become the woman that I was meant to be, which is what you see today.
Yeah. And y'all, we about to get into what you see today. Okay. Okay, so first of all, me and Karon were on the app at probably about the same time. We
Mhm.
um I don't know if you came in after or I came in after, but it was just a few months maybe in
Right.
between.
Mhm.
Um, and we both decided to go on this entrepreneurial journey. And as you all know, when you go on something that hasn't been done before in a business and starting from scratch, it has all of these ups and downs, twists, turns, and just all in betweens. So today, y'all, as we could see, she is called the Affirmation Whisperer. So, okay, tell a little bit about what is all that about.
Ooh, let me
I know.
it's a story, y'all. It's a story. A friend of mine helped me come up with that tagline, the affirmation whisperer, because he asked me, how do you go about putting your affirmations together? And I told him, I say, well, my process basically is to focus on what it is I desire.
Mhm.
And then I start to just write whatever words come to mind as I hear the words coming to me. He said, so in other words, the words are whispered to you? I said, yeah, I guess they are because they're not loud. He said, so as you get the whispers you're writing, I said, yeah, pretty much. He says, yeah, so affirmation whisperer, that's what you should call yourself. So
Yeah.
from that point on, I began to call myself that, but I've been using the practice of affirming myself for a long time. Now, let me be clear. We probably all have been affirming ourselves for a long time, but we
Mhm.
didn't have the wording for it, right? We didn't have the phrasing to put around it. When you are reminding yourself that you are the best that there is at what you do, that is affirming yourself. So I just want to be perfectly clear to everybody. There is no right or wrong way to speak affirmations. As long as you are talking nicely to yourself, is what I say in my clubhouse room on Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 6:30 a.m.
There
Um,
you go.
well, as long as you're talking nicely to yourself and believing what you are saying. I cannot say that enough about believing in what you are saying. Even if you have moments of doubt, that's
Mhm.
okay. As long as you get back into the lane of believing that you are what you're saying you are. And if you are where I was, not knowing who I am, my journey began right then of speaking what God said that I am. God says that I am amazing. I am his masterpiece. I
Mhm.
am loved. I am protected, right? So when
Yeah.
he says that about me, I'm like, okay, hold on. Hold on now. If God says this about me, why am I not believing this about myself? Why am I not speaking this about myself? Now, I will be completely transparent here. When I first began a practice, which is basically a time that I set aside to speak well about myself, right? When I
Mhm.
began to practice, I didn't truly believe what I was saying.
Yeah.
But I said it. I
Yeah.
said it because I was introduced it to a practice. Oh gosh, I want to say I don't remember who it was, but anyway, I was introduced to a practice and I said, okay, I'm going to try this thing because I need to change how I think about myself.
Yeah.
I didn't believe it at first. First 5 days, nope. First 10 days, maybe. So what am I saying? It took time. And especially
Yeah.
if you have a low self-esteem or you have been damaged in this area, it may take you some time to start believing what you're saying. But once you start to believe it, then you start to know it, then you start to live it. I'll say that again. Once you start to believe it, then you start to know it, and then you start to live it. So that tells you a little bit about how I got started in this affirmation practice.
And so as you said, I'm going to be this person, which is a brand, okay, your whole brand.
Yes.
Um what has it changed you in any way? Has it changed your perspective, your mindset in any way, shape, or fashion?
Yes, ma'am.
from where you were, right?
Yes, ma'am. I was this person. I am a very powerful person. When I come into the room, my presence is known by anyone. And I do own
Mhm,
that. I take
mhm.
up space when I walk into a room. Well, there was a time when I was trying to stifle all of that. I was trying to
Mm,
hide all of that. I didn't want to be seen by anyone. I didn't want to be heard by anyone. And when I did speak, this voice that you hear, this very confident voice you hear now, you
yeah,
didn't hear that. I spoke very quick, very fast. Say it, get out, because I didn't really want to be seen. But by me speaking well about myself and really, really understanding that I was meant for more, as we
mm,
all are, that's when I started to step into who I am and start to speak well about myself and not allow anyone else to speak poorly about me, not in my presence anyway. Like, no,
yeah.
ma'am, no, ma'am, that is not me. No, ma'am. Girl, you, no, no, ma'am, no, ma'am, that is not me.
He said, "Not me."
Mm-mm, mm-mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I know that a lot of women who come back and listen to this show and may think to themselves like, I don't know how to put these words together. I don't even know like how to even begin. So what do you tell your clients when they come to you and they're not quite sure of who they are or what they're trying to do, or they came out of a really bad situation and they're trying to recover? How do you walk them through that?
Much of what you just asked me, Slay, what do you want?
Mm,
What is it that you want? And in my consultations, that's the first thing. They have a questionnaire that they fill out for my consultations to give me an idea and a baseline to start with. I
yeah.
start meditating and thinking about it even before the appointment comes about. But what do you want? What do you want from affirmations? Having clarity about what you want in everything we do, right? I've heard you say the
Hmm.
same thing in your
Hmm.
with your consultations, your coaching. What is it that you want?
Yeah.
Because it's not, let me say this also. Affirmations are not a magic trick.
Right.
They are not. There's nothing magical about them except how it can help you to change your mindset. For
Hmm.
me, that's what affirmations are about changing my mindset so that I can get about what it is I'm here on this earth to do. Because we go through things that take away from our courage, we go through things that take away from our self esteem. And it's our responsibility to rebuild ourselves when we go through these experiences, right? It's no
Yeah.
one else's responsibility. It really isn't. As much as we like for our husband, our mama, our sister, whomever, to really build us up, all they can do is speak well for you.
Yeah.
But it's your responsibility to rebuild after whatever it is that you have experienced and then know what you want. So, someone coming to me saying, "Hey, can you help me with some affirmation?" I absolutely can. But before we get started, what is it that you want?
Yeah.
My next question for them is why?
Mm.
Why do you want that? Because some people see things like, yeah, I would like to be X, Y, or Z, but why?
Yeah.
And once they state what their why, and really it's not, I'm not really focused on their why. I just want to know if they know their why.
Hmm.
If they know their why, then I know that they are rooted in what this process is, because what do you want and why do you want it is important to you, how you speak to yourself. Because you can be saying that I'm going to be a millionaire. Well, wait a minute, hold on. Are you doing the work?
Right.
Are you doing the
Yes.
work? Okay, because just speaking it, I don't know that I know of anyone that became a millionaire just by speaking it.
No, not at all.
Okay,
Not at all, unless they got inheritance from someone. But if they didn't have it in
right?
the first place, no.
Exactly. But what it does for me, though, is change my mindset that it is possible for me to become what it is that I desire.
Yeah.
So, in speaking to myself well and reminding myself, especially when I'm going through a tough time, um, there have been moments when I question my ability. And
Hmm.
I know better than that. But
Yeah.
even me have those moments of, well, hold on. Then I just snap myself out of it by momentarily just taking some time to pour back into me and reminding myself of who I am and whose I am. Because of
Mm.
whose I am here today and continue to be so. So, someone who comes to me asking for help with their affirmations, it is not a quick process. For one, we usually spend about an hour together or so, and after the questionnaires, it's very important that they complete that questionnaire for me because it gives me a baseline, as I said. And as we go along, I continue to ask even more exploratory questions. And then from there, I build their affirmations. And it's a very extensive process. People may not believe, but it really is, because I think about what a person has said. And I may meditate on that. And I go about creating their affirmations and send it to them via email. I have not had a disappointed customer yet. So
Listen up, y'all. Karon is 100% guarantee.
yeah,
Okay. She don't be messing around.
right. No, not at all.
We have had a lot of comments in here. Um, the one that I think that we should expound on just a little bit more is Kim's. She says, yes, speak on your presence in command room. I felt guilty about being my true, authentic self. And I know that there are a lot of times because of our demeanor and how we carry ourselves, we don't want to be like seen because everybody then goes all eyes on her, and then anything that you do, they're kind of doing the judging thing. So, what advice would you give to anyone, who may have been like Kim, felt guilty about being true, authentic self?
I examine that first.
Yeah.
Are you putting the thoughts and opinions of others before yours? And that's what I used to do. That
Mm.
judgment, that judgment
Mm-hmm.
that you're just certain is going to come. That judgment, you're certain everybody in the room is judging you. You're certain as soon as you get up to speak, everybody is judging how you look, what you wear, what your how voice sound like, what your hair is. Everybody's judging you. But are they really? Are we creating that for ourselves? There could be, but because we know of other people that have experienced that,
Yeah.
oftentimes we will borrow that and think it's going to happen for us. But just for the conversation's sake, let's say it is happening. And
And
you're not speaking because you weren't invited to speak. You're not speaking because you don't know what you're talking about. You're not speaking because you're not informed. You're speaking because you are the one to be speaking at that moment.
yeah.
Experience it and then say, please get out of here. I am here to take up space. I am here to command the space. Now, let me tell you now, I've been in a lot of spaces where it wasn't always comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
But understanding that I'm here for a purpose, and it's not always the grander purpose, y'all. Maybe I'm here to deliver a message. Maybe I'm here to speak on a particular subject. Whatever your purpose is in that moment, that's your assignment. Step into it and don't worry about what people think. People are always going to have an opinion about something, right?
Yeah.
This is like elbows. Everybody got one.
Everybody got one. I always say, yeah. Everybody
Everybody
got forehead.
got
Everybody
exactly. And we all have something about ourselves when we look in the mirror that we are nitpicking ourselves about. And we are certain everybody else is doing the same thing.
got. Mm-hmm.
We're not necessarily. But if they are, and I'll say it again, and
Yeah.
because you are in front of that podium, you have that microphone in your hand because you are the one that's assigned and stepping into your power, stepping into that moment and speaking with all authority. That just own that space and listen, worry about what they say when you sit down.
Yeah.
If
Really.
you must worry about it, worry about it when you sit down. As long as you're in front of that person, stand up and speak what you're supposed to speak because
She's
people are going to say something no matter what.
They sure are. And she says, you've been peeping in my life. You are right. My self esteem prevents me from canceling that noise of others' opinions. So yeah, and I absolutely love the um, message that you said about your purpose within the moment.
Right.
You
Right.
don't know what that word, those phrases, whatever you're saying in
Right.
the moment,
Right.
it's there to help someone for
Exactly.
whatever reason, or maybe open up another conversation, or
Exactly.
give another attention to
Yes.
something that may have been overlooked, right?
Yes.
So I absolutely love that perspective and that
Right.
insight,
Right.
you know.
Yeah. You weren't invited because you don't have something to add. You
Right.
want to ask, even if someone, and I'll tell you, I've been in this place. I felt like I was just a space filler. But
Mm,
anybody can be a space filler. They may
yeah.
feel like they're just filling a space,
Yeah.
but you're supposed to be in that spot. That's how I see it. I'm
Mm,
supposed to be there. Whatever I'm supposed to speak about, I'm going to speak about. And like you just said, somebody needs to hear what I had to say, or it's going to start a conversation. It's going to start a thought. It's going to activate somebody to get started with something. I don't know of a time that I've facilitated, trained, spoke, that somebody didn't come and say, you know what, I needed to hear that. And even if they don't say it to you, trust me, there's someone before you that needed to hear what you had to say. It may not hear them to the next day, like, wait a minute, she said, uh-huh. She
yep.
did say.
Yep.
But yeah, not allowing our, and see the thing, we as black women have so much on our shoulders
Mm-hmm.
that are placed there and that we place there ourselves,
Mm-hmm.
that we're trying to be all for everybody. I say this often in my space: put yourself first.
Mm-hmm.
Put yourself first. Stop worrying about everybody else. Because one thing's for sure, if you're not putting yourself first, taking care of yourself, believing in you, who else is going to do it for you?
Nobody.
Nobody. You're being a cheerleader for everybody else, but who's there for you for what you need and what you require?
Yeah.
Get out of your head. Get out of your head. Do what it is you're supposed. And even if you don't do it as perfectly as you thought you could do it, okay, do it again and
Yeah.
again and again and again. We have to get out of our heads of our judgment head. That's what I like to call it, because we judge ourselves so hard because we want to be perfect in what we do. Stop it, I say.
You heard it, y'all. She said, "Stop it." All right, we ain't doing that.
No.
Okay. You're just so wise, and you have a lot of gems that you have shared with us so far. And when you publish, I mean, so okay, so I'm talking to a bestseller. All right, y'all. I'm talking to a bestseller. So tell us how many books you got. All right, because you
Well,
you got all kinds of things going on,
listen, I'm
and
just right behind you. That's all.
no, 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 no,
I'm right behind you. So
no, no.
my
She's
very
like
first,
pumping out these books too. So yes,
listen, my
please
very
show.
first, I'm going to see if I can make, there it is. My very first publication,
I don't know if it'll.
I'm making, okay, let me turn the blur off. Give me just a second, everybody. Because I want everybody to see. This very first book that I did is called the Power of Positive Talk. And this book is specifically for children. Well, actually for adults with children. And you can see the beautiful illustration that's on it, that beautiful family. This is my first Amazon first best-selling book here. Went number one in 2 or 3 categories. This book is active. It actually has lots of activities in it where you can go in and first learn about affirmations yourself as an adult, and then there are activities for you to do with the child to begin an affirmation practice. And then there's a space in the book where the child can create their own affirmations. This book is so close to my heart because I'm a firm believer that if we introduce the practice of children knowing how to speak positively about themselves,
Mm-hmm.
that a lot of the things that we have experienced as children, our children to come won't have to experience that. They won't rely on their best friend's opinion about what they should do. I have a very vivid memory of my daughter trying out for the cheerleading team, and she needed, at that time, she needed the approval of her friends
Mm.
to validate her going for a cheerleader, no matter what her mom said. Now her mom like, yeah,
Right.
yeah,
Yeah. Those y'all look.
but she
You
needed
don't matter like that.
of her friends who did not give her what she desired. And guess what she didn't do? She didn't try out for the cheerleading team.
Hmm.
All because she didn't believe in herself. And now, again, I had not gotten into affirmations as I have now, but this book is motivated on memories like that with my children and children around me who have such low self esteem because the people around them
Mm-hmm.
don't know how to pour into them and remind them who they are. But my gem, though, is this book right here. It's
Mm-hmm.
Life Rediscovered. This is a 90-day. This is also a bestseller. It became a bestseller as well. But this book here is a 90-day journal where it has all kinds of reflection, journal points, and affirmations in it a daily. Now, you can break this up and do it in 30 days. You can do it in 60 days. You can do it whatever. You don't have to do it every day. I purposely designed this book where you can do it in the whatever time frame that you want. But it's Life Rediscovered, a 90-day personal transformational journal rather. And within this journal, it's so many different activities that you can do on a daily basis or whenever you set to really help you change your mindset about you. When it says Life Rediscovered, when you finish this journal or you begin and get halfway in this journal, you will rediscover your life. I promise you, you will, if you do it like you're supposed to. Now, I can't do it for you. You have to do it. But with this book, it is my gem. When I say it's my gem, from my own experiences, I put this journal together. It's not your everyday journal. Please don't make the mistake thinking it's just a bunch of lines to write on, because it's not. If I can really quickly show you,
Oh yeah, please show them.
yeah, I'll show you really quickly a couple of sections in here. I just saw. So this one right here, this section here, and I don't know if you'll be able to see it very clearly, but as you can
Oh
see,
yeah.
there's information in here to read. And I know you can't see this word for word, but there are some sections on the opposite side where you can write. But there are sections called your action steps that you take daily. You have your reflection points that you have in here. You have your focus goals. Really, a lot of steps to take, actionable steps to take, not just reading, not just writing, but a plan, a journal that actually gets you on track of that rediscovery path, whatever that looks like for you. I besides the two books, I have affirmation candles. I'm actually burning two right now. I'm burning and I don't want to pick it up and burn myself. I am burning
Yeah,
this
please
one.
don't burn
Is
yourself.
I Am God's Masterpiece, and it smells absolutely beautiful. I have this one has, like, I ain't gonna fool myself that I'm gonna read it, but I know I smell amber in it, and I smell Palo Santo in this one here. So it smells really good. And I Am Protected over here. So I have a line of things that help people to remember about as I'm doing I have reflection moments. I'll burn my candles just to really remind me, in a sense, are so beautiful that it keeps me anchored in my prayer or my meditation, whatever it is that I'm doing. So between the t-shirts, between the affirmation candles, between my books and my consultations and my public speaking, I'm all about telling people how to speak well about themselves. So hopefully that tells you what answers your question.
Yes. I mean, I have seen the journey, past 2.5 years, if that's
Yes,
how long we've known each other for
yes,
on the app. But, I've seen your journey and I'm absolutely in awe from where you started out with
yes,
little to nothing,
yes.
really, that you had to now to this point. And, you know, as you've gone through this journey, like, what is the most profound thing that you've discovered for yourself through your entrepreneurial journey?
Growth,
Growth, yeah.
growth. As much as I know is as much as I don't know, especially in this entrepreneurial journey. There's a lot of, pardon me, a lot of uncomfortability,
Yeah.
getting out of my comfort zone, right, Slay? A lot of getting
Yeah.
out of your comfort zone because you feel like, oh, I know all this. I can just do it in my sleep. And the moment you get out of your comfort zone, like, hold on, wait a minute,
I
wait
don't
a
know what
minute.
I'm doing.
I didn't ask for that. I did not ask for that. So
Yeah.
opportunities for growth has been the biggest achievement, I will say, because the opportunities for growth keep popping up. They keep popping up. I don't know. With each book, y'all, let me tell you something. These books have almost taken me out,
Yeah.
but I stuck with it. I stuck with it because I knew I wanted to give it to the world so that they can have a piece of me, and also have a understanding of what it takes to, what it means to be, take ownership of your life. No one is going to do it for you. You can either decide that you want the more and start creating the more that you desire by doing the inner work and the outer work, or you can stay right where you are. If you don't make a decision is already made.
Yeah.
When you don't make a
It's
decision, the
true.
decision is already made, right?
Yeah.
So I want to encourage women to make a decision for their more, whatever their more looks like. It may not, it most often doesn't look like someone else's. Your
Yeah.
more is your more, and that's what you should be looking for to achieve and to expand on. So that's a little bit about what I have to offer.
Well, just a little bit, y'all.
Just a
And
little
so,
bit.
Kim is already saying that she's going to share with her daughters. She wants to make sure her issues won't become theirs.
Oh yes.
Our grown children will still look to us for direction in their problems or life, even if they never speak it to us.
Yes, very good.
So, yeah, I
Very
love that.
good. I love that too, Kim, and I applaud you for saying so, because our issues can become our children's issues, and
Hmm.
because you're even aware of it, just shows that how far ahead of the game that you are. Um, I can't even put enough words together to explain how we need to be aware of ourselves and how we're pouring into ourselves, because our children, no matter what age they are, both mine are good grown adults, and
Yeah.
they watch me, and they're like, okay, mom, that don't sound like what you should be saying. So did I ask you what I should be saying myself? It's a conversation I have with them. But that just reminds me that no matter what age they are listening, they are paying attention, and not that we are to be perfect in their presence. We're to be ourselves and show that our human side, and show that being our best selves is a constant work. You are never finished. Not
Yeah.
until you stop breathing. Not until you stop breathing.
Yeah. And Chevy says we have to be careful not to project our issues and negativity onto our children,
Very true.
which is something that is very challenging, right? It's very challenging for us not to push that onto our children because we how many conversations we have in the household, and
Yeah.
every little thing we're saying they're picking up and they're listening to. I mean, I'm just looking at all the conversations that I've had in here, and what AJ's probably said. Like, my mama is crazy. There's so much going on with her, you know.
That is so true, Slay. I can tell you guys that my son, he's 26. Both my children are quick to call me to the carpet and say,
Oh
nope,
yeah,
that's not right, mom. Nope, nope, nope. That's not right. And to have your child tell you about something that you've been doing all along, to tell you that that's not right, it takes a humble person, a
yeah,
person who wants to hear what they have to say, to acknowledge that, right, Slave? Because I'm thinking, wait a
yeah.
minute, yeah, you have been saying it. I've been wanting to tell you that that's wrong.
I know. I just tell him right now. I'm like, please forgive me. That's all I'm saying right now to myself. Please
Yeah,
forgive me for all the things that I have said that
yes.
have caused you. Like, what is she talking about in here? You know?
And the thing is, they're very forgiving. Children are very forgiving,
Yeah.
especially when you come to them and say, hey, when you were young, I didn't have a clue what I was doing. So I
Yeah.
ask you now for forgiveness of
Right.
anything I did that may have pointed you in the wrong direction. But they are very forgiving. And when they see that we're trying our best, they're like, okay, Ma, I got you. I got
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. That's usually what it is for
Yes.
sure. Okay. So, we're coming up on the hour here. And
Yes.
so, Um, one of the questions that I want to ask before we leave is, what will your legacy be?
Ooh, good question.
Hmm.
What would my legacy be?
Yes.
Hmm. What I'm doing now is to teach people how to take care of themselves. My legacy will be to teach people how they take care of themselves, showing the way, guiding the
Hmm.
way for folks to be their best version of themselves. Because you can have all the money and possessions in the world, but if
Yeah.
you're not taking care of yourself, it means nothing. I think all of us can recall or recount someone who had all kind of money, but because they didn't take care of themselves emotionally or physically,
Yeah.
they are unable to take care of themselves at all. So showing people how to take care of themselves and advocating for that, speaking well about yourself and not allowing anyone else to treat you less than you would treat your best friend.
Mm.
Letting no one treat you any way less than that. And if so, then you and I need to have a conversation if you're allowing that. Go to my link, book a consultation.
You heard it. Book that link, y'all. Yeah, because I agree. If you're not, health is wealth. All right.
Yes.
And, I'm huge into health, and fitness, and just being very mindful and intentional about doing
Mhm.
it, because when you turn a certain age, and when we get to like 40s and 50s, there's something about being very intentional about how we show up and what we do,
Yes.
right? Because so many things happen at our age that there's a shift, if you will. And if we can't do that, for whatever reason, we're not going to be able to enjoy the life that we have designed,
Right.
up to that point. So we have
Exactly.
to be doing things for ourselves every single day. All right. This is top of mind all the time. So I
Mhm.
love it that your legacy will be about showing people how to take care of themselves.
That's it. Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can take care of the physical, but if you leave the mental,
Yeah.
nope. But if you take care of the mental, but you don't take care of the physical,
Yeah.
that doesn't work either. So it's a twofold process. And my approach is from that heart level of getting people to remember that you are your biggest priority. You are your biggest priority. Everybody else, yes, Shirley, I stand 10 toes down on it. Yes, I do.
Y'all, she says 10 toes down. And when she says 10 toes down, everybody gets super excited. Like, yes,
Yes,
that's what we're
yes,
talking about.
yes. Anchoring yourself and grounding yourself about you. Because if you're taking care of yourself, the chances of you taking care of everybody else around you is even greater. So thank you so much, Slave, for the opportunity to be here and talk to everybody today.
Yeah, I absolutely love that you came on the show and you've done blessed so many people here, and came and just dropped little gems here and there so that way we can be the best versions of ourselves.
Hmm.
And if there's anything else you would like to share before we, call it a night for Cinco de Mayo, we can say that we've done. Hey, it's the third anniversary of
It
Mosaic.
is. It
All
is. I
right.
was going to say that. Yes.
And we did it, like two members of Mosaic Inc. actually came on the anniversary
Right.
and
They did.
collaborated with one another. So
Yes,
yes.
absolutely. If you guys don't know by now, we are very connected to the Mosaic Nation of Co-Elevators. Slay and I both have benefited in some major ways of being a part of this women's group. Some men too, but mostly women. And we are
Hmm.
very grateful for Leslie and Shirley being so open to us coming in, not knowing nothing and learning a whole bunch. And the support in this room is so amazing. We met each at today is the third anniversary. I've been in this space about 2 years. Slay's been in a little longer than me, but we both just kind of took our time to say, well, what's this group all about? Now you can't keep us from the group.
They can't. I know. Every time there's something that comes up, we're like, "What? Where are we supposed to be? Give us
Exactly.
the link. We're gonna be there. We're gonna try to be there."
Exactly.
And there's nothing like people being in the entrepreneurial journey, or
Yes.
doing things outside of just the 9 to 5, to get more advice, support, coming together, having ideas, and even opinions that are not particularly what you have thought about. I love the way that we can just all come together and
Yeah.
just be ourselves. And so
Yeah.
yeah, and it's so true. Happy anniversary to all of our
Yes.
sisters. And I thank you so much for being here.
My
And for
pleasure.
all my guests that came here live, we had Leslie, Chevy, Kim. Let's see here. Kim, Chevy, Suzanne came on here. Um, yes, And for anyone else who didn't put your name to the comments for any other reason, maybe you're busy or drinking a tequila or margarita or whatever you're doing, thank you so much for being here tonight with us. And we absolutely enjoy you being here. And for anyone who comes back, just tell us by hashtag replay, put them in the
Yes.
comments so that way we can shout out to you and give you some love. So thank you so much, Karon, for being here and for everyone being here. And keep on slaying until you can't slay no more. And we'll be back here on the 19th of May because it is Mother's Day on next Sunday. All right. So we won't have a show, but we will be back the following Sunday. So we'll see you all soon.
Thank you,
Have a great
everybody.
night.
Bye bye.
Goodbye.